Welcome back to Occultists Anonymous and our Into the West Mage Chronicle, sponsored by y'all folks. Thank you very much to everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, comments. I already said comments. What's the other one? Shares. Do all that kind of stuff. We really appreciate it. And a special shout out to our patrons who support us monetarily. Thank you to Adele, Alice, Aiden, Al, Alexander, Alstrid, Bernie, Buck, Chris, Doc, Emil, Ethan, Jeff, George, Anthe did nothing wrong. I am the real 06. James, John, Camo, Cat Feathers, Klaus, Milo V3, Moku, Mozart, Dean Miner, Other Guy, Perry, Foog, Polka Dot Hubris, Porter, Puppeteer, Riafio, Sean, Sheksara, Starfish, Terran, Thomas, Verhext, Vincent, Vortex Falcon, and Zoltan. Thank you all so much for your support. When we last left, I nearly killed Legba.
I don't remember that.
It's fine.
I think you nearly threatened Legba.
Yeah,
it's too bad he got rid of that air of menace merit.
Which you don't have anymore. Or that's what you just said. Yep.
Too bad he got rid of that.
But no, I was a legitimate shower thoughts of, I wonder if we should do the like jump forward like an hour and be like everything is on fire and be like, so how did we get here, and rewind?
Yeah, that's great.
But I felt like that would literally be the definition of railroading.
Yeah, maybe,
because Isabel doesn't quite have the time dots to fix that yet. But if you have an Acanthus, storytellers at home, absolutely be like, this is what your Acanthus or Time Mage saw. All right, let's jump back a couple hours. Now you're here. What do you do to prevent that or encourage it? Yeah.
Could be a dream. Could be a dream.
Also true.
After success.
Yep.
Just don't know.
But yes, the witches of Purgatory Bluff had returned back to the scene of the crime.
Yes.
To where they had stolen away.
To be clear, not our crime.
You know, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Yes, where you had not stolen, but had rescued and emancipated some folks. Much better way to put that. And returned back because there was some hinky stuff going on and y'all didn't like it. No. So the investigation, started by keeping them from setting fire to the farm and everything. Which has multiple people pointed out. That was surprising. It feels like there's some cover up going on. And you all swept in very quickly. Petrichor just said, yo, I breathe storm. Like vaping before it was cool. And
absolutely.
It's literal vapors. Basically stop the fire from consuming the fields, the slave hovels, and the mill, and basically sent all the plantation personnel back to the plantation house itself, and then later Legba arrived and sent them all to their beds. Or actually, no, Petrichor did that. Petrichor was like, y'all feeling sleepy because it's 3 a.m. Go to bed. And they were like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. Investigations.
They walked up and shook her hand. Thank you. We wanted to sleep now.
Yep. Actually, that's true. And we should mention that 2 of them are currently invisible angels. Actually, have either of you had any reason to dismiss your flying spells?
Absolutely not.
Okay, yeah. So rocking the invisible angels, and then Baba Sarah is here, spooky as always, and Papa Legba looking dapper, as they just were like, all right, well, then we're just gonna let ourselves in because we're not vampires, and let's just stake this place out. And over, I would say probably an hour of investigation, mainly in the study, they discovered that this place is like clockwork. It is pristine. It is sterile. There are no ghosts. There are no Goetia. There are no spirits, save for a few foundering, flickering flame spirits, who are now probably running for the hills. And a ledger that itself is impeccable, which is unusual. and has a couple occult markings, or well, not occult markings. They have some kind of symbology that was able to be discovered of, a bunch of data. What those numbers correlate to, no idea. But they're here and they're tied to specific dates, including the date of when Jeremiah had his leg crushed. Petrichor, of course, threw back some post-cognition, was like, all right, let's see what happened there, and could not find Jeremiah anywhere on the plantation grounds the day that his leg was crushed. He was not even here. He wasn't even in school that day. Then as they were like, what do we do next? Papa Legba's astral self found a sword, a long sword, resting on his shoulder.
It's an accolade.
No.
Yeah.
Wrong kind of delivering a sword to your shoulder.
It's just resting there. It's fine.
There's some visible intent with that sword. And that's where we actually pick up with for the rest of the witches of the coven seeing Legba. Probably, I don't know, would you bodily tense up, like, because your astral self is surprised? Does your emotions in one place? Well, because you have one set of emotions.
Yes.
So I feel like,
well, he doesn't tense in response to violence. You would see his body relax. So you've seen this happen before over the years. This is probably just the most recent time that you've seen him exhibit this behavior because of the cooling down over the decades.
Just one decade.
Yeah, that's right.
And relax and maybe a roll onto the balls of your feet kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And the knight who has a very refined, I'm proud of it kind of French accent.
This is so good.
Yeah.
Legba is a French speaker.
I know. I was like, this is, and he has a, I don't know how much, the Legba is into historical accuracy, but this is a full-on historically accurate, late period medieval suit of armor. He has a long sword that D&D players might recognize as a great sword, resting on your shoulder, and he is a good way away because he is using the reach of his weapon, and it has some weight to it. Long, great sword is actually going to be closer to like 10 pounds, not some buster, Cloud's buster sword kind of thing, but says, I told you liberators to not return here, and if you were to return, I would kill you. And here you are.
You mistake me for someone else, he says with the full gravitas of Legba.
Kind of looks you up and down, hear the little shift of metal. No, you are right. I recognize you, but not for that reason. Not one of the liberators. No, I know this one. Yes. Haitian. Legba. Yes, I'm familiar with this one. An interesting guise. What are you doing here?
He takes a deep breath, then steps away from the sword, back, not towards. And once he's out of the reach of a sword swing, he says, what any astral explorer does, exploring. And he speaks to him, I should have said at the beginning, he's speaking to him in French. Hearing the French accent, he speaks back to him in French.
And you can hear the smile in his voice as he, replies in French. Ah, yes. Okay, so actually Haitian, perhaps. Because remind me, Legba looks like Papa Legba in the
He
astral.
does.
There's basically
Yes.
no. Yeah. Okay.
Once he took Shadow Self, yes,
Right.
he accepted that he was going to be taking on the responsibility of looking like him and the additional burden
Okay.
of reflecting poorly, if possible.
Also true. It is unlikely that a random explorer would find their way here unless they were looking for something specific. That is the nature of the astral, after all.
It is. Yet I consider none of my jaunts to be random.
So, what brought you here? I repeat.
He shrugs and he says, he looks around and he says, a place like this seems too small to have the resonance, the integrity it does. My curiosity brought me here.
Your curiosity brought you here to a place that you did not know of?
He says, would you like to engage in a tit for tat?
He steps forward, places the sword back on your shoulder, and says, not particularly. You are the uninvited guest here.
Legba says, I will politely request that you remove the sword from my shoulder so we can continue speaking. If you would like to initiate hostilities, we can also do that.
Will you continue to lie to me?
Everything I have said to you is the absolute truth, he says in high speech. Do not insult me by suggesting that I would engage in mendacity.
He's not wrong. We are here because we're curious.
Yep. But the astral realm, whole other thing. So he draws the sword back, leans on it, and in a French accent continues in high speech and says, I see. So, why are you here?
I am the guardian of the crossroads. I explore realms that have strong connection, that limit connection, and are associated with preventing people from crossing through thresholds. This is an altar to oppression that has, as I stated before, perhaps with less distinctness, which has peculiar intensity and integrity for a place of its size. Here in Ataminos, realms acquire this vitality primarily as a result of the number of minds thinking about them, the number of explorers visiting them. And they also exhibit a size commensurate with the number of visits and the number of minds. Yet this place does not have all of the traits that I believe it should. And I'm curious to know why.
Yeah, we're gonna give me a persuasion roll.
Cool.
You're at
expression. I'm happy to do persuasion if you want.
What does high fluence? It allows expression rolls?
Actually, you know what? It allows expression, but no, we're going to do persuasion because you get +2 persuasion with high speech, fluent high speech. Doing presence persuasion, if that's okay with you.
Yep. And that'll be a net of -2 because you are at a -4 to convince this guy. Now, of course, if you want to play willpower and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Let's see. Then let me check one thing about Shadow Self.
Increases impression level.
So let's see.
Nimbus tilt.
No, he's got to be, he needs to have succumbed to my Nimbus tilt to get -2 to contested rolls. Okay, cool. We're good. I'm going to spend a willpower.
So net +1.
Net +1. And my presence is at 5 when I'm in the astral from
Correct.
Shadow Self.
Mm-hmm.
So I got persuasion. There we go. Now it's clicked. Do it. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm going to do? Spend a mana. That's an exceptional success.
I like it.
Sweet.
Also, I just realized technically, because it is in the astral, does it actually matter? Well, I guess it increases one of your social attributes by 1. Because technically, I was thinking you could actually use your intelligence.
I use power, right? Because I have
true.
power.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry. Anyways, continuing.
And we declared originally when we conceived the Shadow Self that I said, I'll put it there. And I think we talked about it, said we wouldn't shift it around for the sake of not just ease, but narrative consistency. Mm-hmm. And then we represented it as Legba being bigger,
right?
Like physically appearing bigger. So,
yep. No, you're good. I just had a moment of lost in the rules.
To be intelligence. Yeah.
Right. So he has drawn his sword back because you're willing to engage and discuss, and then you get scholarly on him, right? And he nods, and that's well observed. Yes, quite proud of our garden here. It's not a wild Temenic realm. It's been created and crafted very, very closely, and also guarded very, very narrowly. And yet you are here. Causes concern for how you got here, how you learned of this, and what other things you may be engaging in.
He says, I am the guardian of the crossroads. Thresholds are trivial for me to cross, except for when I am violating the precepts associated with those realms. It would not behoove me. And then he leans into this kind of, sometimes comical or amiable posture, right? He says, it would not behoove me as a guardian of places to encroach upon them unjustly. Were I... No, he says, wherever I go is a place that I am therefore allowed to be. If this is so protected. And
how did I get in?
Yes, exactly. How would I get in?
He nods, and there's this wry chuckle. That is fair. Yes. How did you get in? If this were properly protected, you shouldn't have been able to get in. That is a very good point. We will have to investigate that. For now, you may leave, and I will not kill you.
Legba says, and here I thought we were engaging in nice conversation, where I have not threatened you. Or not, I have not. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, and that's perfect because he brings his hand up, gives you that. Let me see. It's like, no, as speaking guardian to guardian, I have greeted you. I have spoken with you. I've told you that this place is a place you should not be and are not allowed to be, and it is our fault for allowing you in. But now I'm asking you to leave courteously rather than sending you back to your body. This is the courtesy.
He says, as a matter, and then he swells up a little bit more. And he says, as a matter of practice, I do not countenance threats, implicit or explicit. I was offering you an opportunity to request my departure, which I would grant, without the addition of your insistence that you would somehow be able to send me back to my body without my consent. If you wish for this to remain a single incident in which you encountered me in my full self, without hostilities that you might regret. It may be that.
I love when I have to play the like unstoppable force up against the immovable object.
I feel like they're just slowly loosening the fingers on his glove that he's
Right, yes, I'm about to throw it down. And so he nods. He's like, very well. Then I politely ask you to depart and not return here. As I
And
told
Legba says again in high speech, I am a man of my word. So I'm going to see how is Legba going to do this. What does he want to do? Everything here. Okay. Trying to think about how he's going to choose to leave, because this matters for what he's going to do next. Okay. This is what he does. Legba nods. He gives him a polite bow, right? And then he says, oh, okay. He starts humming Alouette, gentille alouette. And backs away, starts backing away. And he's going to imagine in his mind a crossroad forming in the distance. So with, his legacy attainments and things like this is what he's going to be doing as he walks away. He's paying attention to this guy with his back turned away, which, isn't an impairment for him. The consequence of, the outward and inward eye. And he's walking into the distance, and in his mind, he's drawing away this place as just another element along this connection. He's not casting a spell. He's retaining in his mind the manner in which he can go to another place from this place. Did that make sense to you?
Sure.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? Right. So this is not constructing it. It is, how Legba thinks, right? Every place in the astral is connected to the other, except for people's Oniro eye, right? But even them, as he has experienced, you can get there. They are connected. Minds are connected. If you have a mind, it is somehow connected there. So he's going to walk away and draw that experience out, going to a crossroads, so that this knight can witness him departing as Legba does. Legba does not depart in a snap.
Mm-hmm.
At least Legba does not depart with haste. He walks along a road and navigates the crossroads. So the knight can watch him walking down along a crossroad as he moves into the distance. And once he hits the crossroad, once he steps across it to the other side, that's when he's gone.
Cool. Where are you navigating your astral self to?
He's going to navigate to a place close to the plantation if he can. I realize
you've got some options,
Yes. Yeah.
What place are you thinking of that might be connected?
What he's thinking is the plantation itself, its physical location. We've been there once. We left. We went back to Purgatory Bluff, and we've had some information. I'm going to be assuming a few things narratively that might be inaccurate, and feel free to correct me here. But the group together might have, in the time since, thought about this. Legba might have asked certain questions to understand exactly where they went, because we didn't. Oh, we didn't. No. Actually, this might be useful. Last time you asked what we were all doing over the course of those few intervening weeks, and I said that Legba was going to be mapping out all these plantations along the river and finding the new ones. He goes to the closest astral spot that he knows of that's physically close. He goes to the astral location that corresponds to a place that is most geographically close.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Even if it's another plantation, it's totally fine. It doesn't have to be right outside next door. Just the spot he knows that is most that corresponds to a place that's geographically close.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And that's.
Yep.
I like that. That's finishes that up for you'll step through to another plantation, and this place is more of what you're kind of expecting. You see Goche moving about. You see like denizens and stuff like that, whereas the other place was sterile, right? No Goche there and stuff like that. And then we jump over, to your bodily self, and the plantation is on fire. So we jump back a little bit.
Awesome. Yes, cool.
It's been maybe 2-3 minutes. And for the rest of everybody, you watch Legba kind of go little relaxed, and it's like, okay, he's doing something. And before you have opportunity to really quiz him about it or anything like that, there is more fire returning. It is fighting against the storm outside. It is definitely one of those like, well, sleepers are going to have a hard time believing this level of fire in the storm, right? Because like, lightning bolt hits the ground, maybe starts up a little fire and then gets pushed back down. This is like, we're building up towards raging inferno as the storm just pours rain down on it.
Wow.
And for the three of you, yes, there was a like no warning startup of the fire again, of note, including the lower levels of the plantation house.
Was it a spell?
You did not sense any kind of peripheral nothing.
Huh.
Oh, actually, no, I take that back. You would have, because there is a supernatural effect. Yes.
Well, I guess that's our cue to get going.
It doesn't have to be.
Fire isn't really a problem when you get two forces
fire's
mages.
Not really an issue.
Y'all worried about fire? Come on. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I don't want to hear about no fire.
I mean, I'm worried about people showing up after their fire keeps going out, but...
Are they going to see you?
Y'all worried about visibility? Come
on.
I am with Chris. Yeah, there are some definite things to consider here, but yeah.
I kind of want to, like... Do I know where it's coming from?
Your peripheral mage sight would give you the sense that this is happening in a couple different places in the area. There's something definitely happening downstairs. Basically, we'll say the cellar of the plantation. Maybe not literally a cellar, but as we've discussed, you don't do cellars next to the Mississippi. And then something out in the fields, then something out at the slave hovels, and then at the mill. Basically, almost like in sync with one another. Your peripheral mage sights kind of flare up and going, oh, what's that? Oh, there's fire again.
I want to try to dispel the one in the house.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if that works if it's not like a spell, right?
It may require some additional arcana.
I imagine, the fire in my head, I would assume it was a forces effect.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's not what is setting the fire.
Where is dispel magic?
I mean, you can do it the 4-dot spell and then...
Yeah, here's the issue that I'm running into. I will go ahead and give you kind of the meta knowledge. This is not awakened magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was unsure about.
So you, I think, would have to combine it. All right, Player's Guide to the Contagion Chronicle. Help me out here. We're dealing with some crossover BS.
The great part is, Drew, that could be anything. So you didn't really reveal like the meta context. You just say it's just not awakened magic.
Right.
It's great that we can say that so many things in a great.
Did the fire spirits start this?
Actually, hi. Yeah, that's right. We have a Theodosia here. You are definitely getting some there's some Numina shenanigans, Numina or influence from where you're at. You can't quite tell but yeah, definitely. You're like, yeah, that seems right. Actually, because that's true. Because yeah, you don't have Prime. So this is just pure spirit. That is. Hang on, there were no spirits here a second ago.
Yep, smells like spirit. Parentheses. Team.
Spirit.
Yep. I was right there with you.
Yes.
Isabel's just like fully lifting Cloak onto her shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So good.
So you're just sort of dangling there on the shoulder of an invisible woman right now. It's like, look, we can sit here and fight the fire and everything, but I'll be honest, I was kind of planning on setting it on fire with the lightning as I left. So, I mean, I'll leave it to y'all.
Is there more information to be gathered here?
They've been pretty thorough in their cleanup. But part of me says if they're setting fire to it, there must be something left behind, or maybe they're just trying to be super
That's
thorough.
what I'm concerned with.
Now,
I want to go.
As experienced mages, you know that there's cleanup, and then there's a whole other level of cleanup that mages may need to engage in to clean up all traces of everything, right? We've already seen, Petrichor poked her head out and was like, hey, what happened 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some degrees of cleanup that go beyond, ye olde, well, I'm going to burn the business down and collect the insurance money.
So is this a cleanup or is this a message?
I at least want to go look at the cabins that the slaves were staying in.
Okay.
So good. Immortal Knight. Oh, it looks. She has this gleaming sword she conjured from her own spirit, walking through the fire unharmed.
Invisibly.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it, but it'd be like.
Actually, that's true. It's only invisible, so you get because that's the thing. She's invisible. She takes up mass in space, so flames make her shape.
Yeah.
Whoa, yes!
The doom music begins to play.
Yes.
Okay. So
did you each for style only have one wing?
I don't have wings at all.
Yeah, no wings
okay.
on. Yeah, no wings on Helena, and
Okay.
Isabel is definitely the flying bird. All right. Anyway, sorry. Yes. So you guys have a quick conversation. Hang on. Burning this place down. Are we keeping this? Are we looking around? Quickly decide. All right. We need to check one other place real quick, and then we're just gonna let this fucker burn. Excuse me, motherfucker burn. Yeah.
Badoof.
Yep.
I will let go of the sleepy spell.
Okay.
I don't want them to necessarily have to burn to death in their sleep, but
okay.
I'm also not
You're not
going
to help
cast a spell to wake them up.
Understood.
I know we're still pre-Darwin right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like late 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
18.
I should start throwing in some
18,
alternate
yeah,
history
20,
stuff to really just
24
mess with
November
numbers.
1859. I was right.
Oh, we got 2 years.
Oh, that's like soon, yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
I
But
would,
it takes a lot of spread. But
Popular adoption and stuff, and so like notion of survival of the fittest. Go ahead, Ash.
want to ask Cloak if you can you check out the people upstairs just mentally? I would like to confirm that they are pawns on the chessboard and not players.
You get the telepathic message across, and I feel like you get a Legba isn't available to accept this call. Please leave a message, and he'll get back when he is back to his body. He's currently busy right now.
I like the idea that you've like stormed off into the fire without like noticing that Legba has like paused. And so then like behind your back, I'm like scooping him up on my shoulder.
Because that's true. Helena doesn't have the experience with Legba.
No.
Like, knows Legba does stuff because Helena's been here for a little while, but all the extent of things and some of this that, Babasera and Petricorn, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, when he went kind of slack, I think Petricorn was probably already ready to be like, well, I'm going to have to move him now. Okay.
It's like the first time we got into a fight in the Astro.
Yeah. We stuff a few of the like most recent notebooks into a bag.
Okay.
Just like into her like supplies bag.
Sure.
And then I'll like look over at Babasera. It's like, you want to go through the fire, or you want me to let you down nice and easy out the window?
Flames or plasma can lodestone work? No, I know, because they're not.
It's
energy in the
not
context
matter,
of forces, and I just mean if it's ionized particles, right? If we're defining it that way, I know it doesn't work in the game, but it would be cool effect.
I think I'll take the window.
Yeah. So the sort of process here is like Petrichor like opening the window, sort of backing out of it to get wings out.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then sort of carrying like one hand or like on one shoulder, Legba, and then like telling Babasera like, all right, stick out your hand, and then grabbing arm, and then literally just like Yoshi fluttering enough just to like land on the ground.
Just
safely.
Full parachute mode with the wings.
Like, I don't think my wings are made to carry 2 extra humans.
But they should be able to at least slow the rate of distance.
But just to glide for 15 feet.
Cool. I think that is a good spot actually for Legba to come back and be like, I'm outside of the house now. There's way more fire.
Howdy. Yeah, that's all just started.
And he says, thank you for carrying me.
Certainly. Helena's... You come like busting out the front door through the fire, like action hero style.
Yes.
Listen, you can take her out of the adamantine order. You can't take the adamantine order out of her.
She's like, you're with us again. Right. Can you just quickly check them out? I want to make sure they're not important. The master of the house or whatever.
He says, I once swore to never do this again. It seems I'm temporarily going to have to break a promise. My apologies, coven mates. He's going to cast a spell that he said he swore he would never use again. No nature. It's a mass no nature. Remember the big conversation we had as a coven, and the feelings everybody had in different ways, and Legba being like, this is just information, and then being like, look, knowing information about people is different, it's mind, and the cool in character dialogue about it, and how it shifted the direction for his legacy, and he ended up doing something different, became Legba instead of another. So it led to where we are now, which is great, right? And so like Helena just calmly is like, hey, check him out, see see if they got, it's like no big deal, right? And he's like,
Right.
oh, okay. So yes, the manner in which he'd prefer, right? Instead of some kind of using outward inward eye to cast supernal vision to somehow perceive whether or not they're supernatural. He instead is going to cast a mass know nature of all the minds in the building to attempt to determine if they have an obsession, as he originally learned the way to perceive an awakened mind. So even though he's become a master of prime, this is still his bias, that he believes this is the greatest sign of an awakened mind. It is not the possession of mana. It is the possession of an obsession.
It's a really good way to do it. And double checking because that doesn't have so there's no withstand. You don't bump into anything as you're used to, and you have just aspirations, and even these feel controlled and sterile. You have ones like, we're going to increase output. The wife, it has some, I want to buy a new pretty dress. Like, there are these very vapid or
sort of lab grown instead of free range.
lab grown, soulless. I don't like throwing that term around too easily because that actually means something here.
That means something,
right? But it's just like, do you not aspire for anything more than that? Even like
superficial.
That's a good one, because it's like, where's the Machiavellian, twisting it? Like, oh, I'm going to I have a new plan to abuse a slave.
Oh,
nothing, right? It's just this like, yep, I'm going to do this thing. I think we're going to increase our quota, and it's just like, the hell is wrong with these people?
Wow. Yes.
It is very, very tamped down expectations and aspirations, not really as like the owner of the plantation, it doesn't even aspire to like get a new field, right, or to grow or anything like that. Is very happy where they're at. Very gross, like even for villains, right?
Yeah,
but no obsessions whatsoever.
Then Legba says, they merely possess the aspirations of the subordinate.
That's a good way to put it. So about this time, fire is really starting to spread and like actually move across the front of the plantation. Like it's painted nice wood and stuff like that that's been soaked, but eventually fire is going to do its thing. And this fire, with Force's sight, right? It's like, that's aggressive fire. that fire has an angry face on it, kind of vibe.
Like, was starting to realize it is unwise to just let people die. He has removed the slaves from their touch, the people they were oppressing. They're not presently doing it. And so as they're walking, right, these are people who are doing things he's witnessed in Jeremiah's mind the consequences of, and they're just, I won't say mindlessly participating in it, but they're clearly not exhibiting a lot of advanced thought about it, just, willful additional participants. As everyone's walking away, he says, regardless of how hideous their conduct has been, I cannot leave them to die. And he starts walking back towards the house.
Oh, so you were going to go in and rescue them?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I assumed you were like gonna wake them up.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, I was
could
thinking,
wake them up, but I mean,
yeah, and that is the next narrative thing. Yeah, because as the fire begins to move, we eventually hear some of the first pops and then breaking of glass, and things of that nature, and as at least Helena was headed that way. As some of you are moving towards the slave hovels, which are burning much faster, you hear a couple shrieks and shouts and stuff like that, and get everybody up. Dogs start barking, and there is much more of a commotion. And as the fire is spreading, Papa Legba and Baba Sarah, you are like, oh, right, we are out and now slowly becoming more and more well lit. Just as a quick note. So who all was heading over towards the hovels, the cabins? Helena,
That's where I was going.
Core, and Legba and Baba Sarah, you also headed that way, or are we deviating?
Legba needs to make sure that they're able to escape through the fire first.
Okay, cool. Baba Sarah?
And the flames.
Yeah.
You're good on your own?
I will do it. Yes.
Okay. I'll go with
Would you like a shield? Or will you be fine with the flames?
I will do it without the shield.
Okay.
Thank you.
Love this. Yeah, so that's great. Is Legba doing this, we'll say, manually?
No, so what he's going to do is the first thing he's going to do is, as he steps up to the threshold and crosses it, he then invokes his legacy attainment so that all boundaries inside of the house, so that the house is invisible, so that the space within is in what was the term we were using for this? For this fourth legacy attainment, I think we came up with some quick, nice way to reference the effect.
Well, you look that up. We'll come back because that'll be fine. That'll give you a moment. So moving the three of you over towards the hovels, which, yeah, actually made a comment on. It's like, yeah, of course this is burning faster. Yeah, they're actually burning pretty damn fast.
I want to push that fire down. Just basically reach out and grab it and squeeze it down.
You have forces 5, so you have a couple different ways you can do this.
Wink it out.
Yeah, basically, like, I imagine it's going to start burning again, but right now, I want to look at this before the fire consumes it.
Okay. So I think it's literally called destroy energy. Eradicate energy.
Eradicate energy.
So
Sounds
much
better.
cooler. Yeah. And let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Potency. In a subject area. Potency required for different levels. So I don't know why they bother.
Use it on creatures.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Just all the energy in your atoms just stop.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, and this is one of the things that I love.
Back.
This is
freeze
where
that Plutio, come back as long as you survive it. Yay, tardigrade. Well, I mean, tardigrade's probably not going to survive that.
Yeah.
But
this is one of the things that I always love about the forces section of this book and how weirdly it is written. Because it's like, hey, use this chart above for the potency that you need for each level. But it's a potency spell, and you have forces 5. And this chart only goes to 5. You literally, like this, it's everything. So you could stop a forest fire with Gnosis plus forces, depending on the scale.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
I stop a phone booth of forest fire. Job's done.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
5 foot. Yeah. So I'm not even going to make. Do you want to just remove the fire from that place?
Yeah. And
cool.
In my head, it is literally just reaching out with her hand and closing it and turning it off.
I love it. Yeah. And it done. We're not even going to bother rolling that because it would literally just be Gnosis plus forces and I guess maybe there'd be an extra reach.
Paradox.
Yeah. One potential die of paradox. Oh, well, no.
3.
3. I'm not going to stress on it though. But yes, just because we have forces 5 and we're just like, this fire is annoying me. Go away. And you have the like in my head and this is why I'm getting to it. This is the sword, and she's just walking and being like, that fire's in the way, and just there's no pause, there's no need for a yantra. It's just like nope, and it's just gone. Because this is one of those things we didn't get to do a ton of it in the Rookery, but like when you have 5 in an Arcana, you don't have to do yantras for a bunch of this stuff. It's Gnosis plus your forces. Like you're throwing 10 dice at the thing, and you need 1 success.
11.
Yes,
everything's down and dirty.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, it just winks out. And yeah, you can definitely see burn marks and stuff like that. The flip side, because Petrichor, I believe you have Mage Sight back on, or for Petrichor.
I'm looking at least in spirit, yeah.
Okay, yeah. You can definitely see a couple large fire spirits that were not here before. Like you had seen and spotted some of them that were hanging around, and you could see they were already making a run for it because the residence is about to disappear, and this place will not be pleasant to hang out in because they won't be in a safe place. And now you are looking at some like Major Domo Ragnaros, like rank 4 fire spirits.
Okay, you're gonna tell me for free, but that is my. Yep. They are within my storm, so I can use my no spirit on them.
Oh, that's right.
They're rank and bane.
Good. Oh, so good.
So yes, you see. Yeah. Okay. It's just 4. For rank 4 spirits. And you said you get to know their ban and bane, or bane?
Me. Oh my god. You're not.
Yep.
Sorry. This is the first attainment, Red Sky at Night.
Yes.
What an appropriate one for today.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I think I have the YouTube title.
Out the cloud. Yeah, that's great.
I'm proud of the names I have for the attainments in this list.
They're very good.
Yeah, attainment emulates the rote no spirit with potency for dots and spirit +1. It has to be either a spirit related to storms or within her storm.
Cool.
And then it operates at full potency, ignoring withstand on a consenting spirit, and is limited to only knowledge of ban and bane of a spirit who is resisting.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yes.
So yeah, I just get a piece of knowledge.
Petrichor, you find that all 4 of them have the exact same ban and bane. The ban is they cannot turn against. You get the name Trigander.
Oh, trigender?
No. And their bane.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah, I will. And their bane is the touch of Trigander.
Oh.
Oh, I'm going to put this in the Roll20 chat. That way,
our
folks at home can see.
Oh.
Yeah, gender.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which means very gender.
Très gendaire.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
It's great in here.
It's a real good time.
All right. Well, I'm gonna shout out him first tongue. Hey, y'all mind not setting shit on fire for just like 1 second while we take a look in here? I'll be affable.
And great. You do have you do show up as rank 4.
Rank 4.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you see these, and here's the other thing. The 4 of them have the same ban and bane. They do not look the same. right? This isn't like, siblings or anything like that. And so, yeah, you have these 4 various, like, one looks very much like Middle Eastern jinn, right? You have another that looks far more like your classic angel of fire. Like, you can definitely tell these have been collected from other places, right? And where they kind of first took form. And all 4 of them stop and look you up and down. And then the one who's next to the hovels, which you can see is, kind of mid, like, I'm gonna set this shit on fire again, pauses and looks at you, and there is a nod. And then resumes preparing to set this shit on fire, but is like, all right, you're not asking us to do anything to stop. You just give 1 second. You know, this is that, like, let us cross the road real quick and then you can blow shit up. It's like, okay.
Absolutely. Yep. I don't care. You can burn the shit down in a second. It's a nice, like, that's a nice fire. Y'all doing good work.
I love it.
And like, and you're not asking the other 3. Yeah.
If you set this shit on fire while I'm in there, I will blast your ass with lightning.
Yeah, that'd be great. She's inside and all of a sudden a lightning bolt comes out.
Stop it. Yeah. So meanwhile, for Helena, you just turn the flames off, and then Petrichor is speaking tongues.
Yep. All right, that should buy us a few minutes.
Okay.
Some real sparksters over here. I think I got us a name, by the way.
That's very useful. Okay, yeah, I want to go inside and just... Yeah, I'm going to look around with Mage Sight on.
So you do a quick, because we'll say there's probably like 5 of these, actually probably less. And it's like, poke your head in, whoa, hang on, what was that? And using Prime Sight, you can see there is some kind of yantra vibe that you are getting from basically the floor of the cabin. Like, you see the glow of it, very, video game glow. Oh, here's an interactable kind of thing. Yeah, there's something there. What it exactly is, you can't quite tell. You may need to probably roll int plus occult. But yeah, that is the floor. The other ones don't seem to have anything going on. This one is.
Trying to de-select Gnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna roll that because, yeah. Is it at a minus or no? Okay.
Nope. Yeah. Okay.
4.
Yeah. 4
I'm
success.
on Darkwood, that's why I can't read anything.
Yeah, I know. But it's so much nicer on my eyes. Yes, with your 4 successes, yeah, you immediately recognize a high speech rune representing something. You can't quite make out what the full imago would be, but it is definitely set up for, like, for folks back at home. Oh yeah, it's like what Atreides got tattooed on. I think actually several folks got tattoos for, of like, this is a spell I like to cast all the time and I can slap it and we're good to go. So this was something that was doing something here. I will tell you that the Arcana it was geared towards, and the other reason why you, like, I don't know what the hell is going on here, was tied to fate and mind.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, I definitely want to point it out to Cloak
And Sarah.
and the ones who I have heard with fluent high speech.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that they would be able to read it better.
I like that idea, and I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I'm totally
Fantastic.
down with that.
And you're seeing it, right? You're seeing it distinctly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering if I was going to need to, like, share sight with you or something. But if I can point it out to you on the floor, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yep.
I'm right there and I'm feeling it too.
But even
Right.
then, share the memory.
Also true. But yeah, Baba Sarah quickly come over, and especially if like it's dark, you've got a little bit of light from flames, but Baba Sarah, you bring up the blue glowy lantern, and they're on that floor, which it's a dirt floor, but you can kind of scuff away some like what looks like leftover sugarcane like detritus and just to basically be like not the canes themselves, because that would be horrendous, but some of the leaves and stuff like that, just to provide some kind of like padding, moving and nudging that away, and you can make out what looks like this rather large rune, and in your lack of fate and mind what exactly it does, you're not sure, but you definitely pick up fuck your sleep. Your day is going to be atrocious. Have lots of bad dreams. Welcome to millennial anxiety. Just like this is not a restful place when this spell gets activated, kind of thing.
So a couple things. One is I really love the idea of an indelible rune on a dirt floor. That's so mage.
Yeah,
Love it. She may not understand exactly what's going on, but she's going to take time studying, like committing it firmly in memory to make it's a clearer picture possible for like later.
Cool. Technically, there is a spell for that. Not a spell for that. There is a skill roll to commit something to memory, but we don't need that because we have perfect recall. It's a wonderful spell. Cool. Ralph, were you able to figure out the attainment?
Yes.
Thing?
Yeah.
Let's
I was
jump
trying
back
to
over
confirm something. Great. So, his fourth attainment is a combination of incognito presence and secret room or secret door. Sorry, secret door. But he can only use the former when his astral self is in a place that physically corresponds. So he cannot actually obscure. That's what I was trying to confirm.
That's what I was wondering about.
So, yes. So, but what is important is that he is able to direct these people out without really communicating with them. And so what he's going to do is this. He's going to step inside. And when he does, he turns around and extends his hand and activates his fourth attainment, secret door. And so now all liminal spaces and thresholds within the house are obscured. So the first thing is he's making it so that no one can get out through any of the standard ways. Because he doesn't want anybody to make a mistake and get lost. So his thinking is the only way out is going to be the threshold that he determines and makes available. Because he's going to be able to act without screaming and feeling like you just got woken up in an inferno, right? So then I'll tell you my plan. You can tell me whatever I need to do based on, threats and dangers and stuff like that. But he knows where everybody is, right? From having passed through before. Great. Cool. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to cast a spell before he encounters any of them. And he's rather loath to do this, but he believes this is necessary for their safety. So he is going to cast Break Boundary very carefully to make sure that each place he's going to has, tell me this, please. I want to know the number of boundaries that need to be broken so that people can traverse fires without dying. He's not trying to make it so that nobody gets harmed, but a raging inferno that's so high that you're going to get lit on fire.
And that is a good point here. We are not at raging inferno yet.
Okay,
right?
Gotcha.
We have, if we were thinking of the large plantation, we have fire that is consuming like one side of the back porch.
Okay,
We're not in that point. This is like straight up leave now. Everybody's fine, but if people dilly-dally, if he's going to grab his books, if the dog gets scared, which I will note, both dogs have immediately come and sat at your feet. They're like, yo, it's Legba! We know this guy. All right, we're going to hang out here. What's going on?
We know. Yeah. That's great.
We're not
then this is even better.
In the house, guys.
Oh my gosh. And this is even cooler. If the dogs come up to him, then this is going to be relatively mundane. This is actually what happens. Okay. If this is okay with you, which I think would be cooler for the audience and for the narrative. He walks into the house. He does a secret door so that nobody's going to accidentally try and jump through windows and do crazy stuff, right? All doors are blocked except for the ones that he permits egress through. The dogs come and sit in his feet. He looks down. Then smiles to himself. He knocks the cane on the ground and activates. Yes. Fantastic. Then let's just say he's also making an animal kin roll, right? Placing his hands. He knocks the cane on the ground, leans it against his chest, places hands on the foreheads of the dogs, and says, "You are good dogs. You are great dogs. You will save your owners."
Yeah, their heads lift and they're like, "Yo, we can do that."
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Bring them. He says, so which door could they get through that is away from him? Is there an exit route that he could designate?
Yeah, because basically for them, they are like because this is, the front doors are unlocked. A bunch of doors are open. We don't have air conditioning. You want air movement as much as possible, right? So on that upper level with, the owner's suite and stuff like that, you have just like the doors open. The dogs have come down the stairs.
Gotcha,
to you.
Okay,
so if we go full Lassie with this, it's literally the dogs go up and grab hold of clothes and just start tugging. And I'm going we are bodily pulling y'all out Lassie style.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Then what he wants to do is effectively I always can't modify that attainment. He's going to turn it off. So he's locked it with secret door. Then he realized the dogs are here, and he says, "You're good dogs. You're going to save your owners. They must come through this door."
Cool. Yeah. And you let loose your little canine minions, and they just start, and there's yapping and barking, and there's some little itty bitty yappy dog that's not going to do anything, who's just zipping around making a ruckus, and anybody who's moving away from anybody who's moving away from the front door is just herded away, and you're like, you guys aren't even sheepdogs. Doesn't matter. I'm an angry chihuahua and I will yap. Well, actually probably not a chihuahua around here, but yeah. And it's just, they go full Lassie mode. They've been training for this day their entire lives, and just bodily nope, it's time to move. Same kind of stuff where you see some of these dogs who hey, little baby, you are getting too close to the steps. No, we're just gonna body check you. No, we're not going over. And it's just, and you just they go to work, and they're like, we are here for this.
Great. Okay, cool.
Good dogs.
Then after the dogs have done that, and he sees that that's happening, that's when he'll release the attainment and will step out of the house, trusting that the dogs are going to do that.
Yep. Because,
but trust the dogs. So good.
Yeah, you can trust them. You can't trust people. Absolutely. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's
correct. Yes.
So you can kind of step back and you can watch them kind of going into motion and stuff like that. You do see that two of the dogs have to chase and are upsetting the owner, because the owner is desperate to get into the records and try to save the records. And the dogs are, when you last look back, you are seeing two of the dogs pulling this guy by his nice little, sleep shirt, dragging him across the ground. It's no, we got you. And some of the who you imagine elder sons or something like that who also sleep are coming out, and they're like, what the hell is happening? Because they all just saw the fire being doused. They all saw the fire stop, and now we jump over to you guys at the slave huts, and are investigating this stuff. And Petrichor, you look out, and that sugarcane field is 2 to 3 times worse than when you had arrived. The mill is absolutely engulfed at this point. The plantation is starting to burn. The little bunkhouse for the staff is untouched, and some of those folks are just starting to wake up and are running to help. But at this point, you're not saving the field, guys. You might save the plantation. they're probably not saving the plantation. Petrichor has seen those spirits. They go and do some work. So yeah, we have a moment here where you guys can reconvene as
Perfect.
We have the Benny Hill music playing as this dumbass guy gets dragged across the muddy dirt and grass. Sucks to suck.
So I reckon y'all should be about done in those huts very soon.
As
Got some very antsy looking little flame guys out here.
Yeah, well, Bosera is reading this.
Legba's walking up, if that seems like a narratively appropriate thing to do.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think we've learned everything we're gonna.
Yeah, Babasera, you finish reading this, kind of like you do that recitation to yourself. Like, I understand the high speech. I don't know how this works as an imago thing. So it's like learning songs phonetically, right? I don't know what these lyrics mean, but I can sing them. Yeah. So you've reached that level. You're kind of repeating it in your head, and you suddenly feel flames above your head at the top of the cabin. Petrichor, you watch as the one who is watching back and forth, is looking at your buddies and is like, and just
didn't promise not to burn us.
Yeah, has no problem dumping flame right across the cabin.
Lightning to the face.
Whoa, okay, yeah.
Oh, we were gonna leave. Like,
yeah.
Okay, you're gonna do lightning across the face anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it didn't.
I asked extremely politely.
Yeah, it is on the cabin, just to be very clear.
That's fine.
Okay.
I asked
They
politely,
promised
though.
not to burn Petrichor.
I said, you mind waiting while we take a look?
Yep, totally. Spear got antsy. Fucked around. We're in find out phase now.
Running into difficulties.
There's the ranks.
Fire spirit with poor survival instincts.
Yeah, we've done this before. I mean, in this particular case, it was the one river spirit. Now you've got 4 of them. But
it's a warning shot across the bow. Like 10 bludgeoning damage ain't gonna do shit to it.
That's true. Yeah. I'm over here like trying to figure out how much health it has. But yeah, it gets zapped and like there's this head tilt.
It's like growling first tongue snarl. Like it's like you have to like completely shift your fucking vocal cords completely. And it's like I asked politely.
Like, and it draws back. Like fire has started on the cabins, right? And it just stops. Like where the sugarcane and the house are being actively encouraged using influence once fire starter and then influence to get the fire going. This one has basically used fire starter across the cabins and then sulkingly crosses its arms and like just stares you down. Just like, I don't want to fight, but you're making this difficult on me. Come on.
And then in Spanish, like, we need to be done.
Okay. Let's go.
You will either burn or fight right now if you do not leave.
Can we get the nimbus of who made the rune?
No, because runes are made physically, right? Somebody came in, and yeah, for Craig's perspective, actually, I will go ahead and mention. You didn't mention using batter, but I think you would notice that the durability of the dirt floor has been increased. So somebody went in and basically dug in the dirt, created this rune, and then cranked the durability up so it wouldn't wear away.
That's making it indelible. Yeah.
More or less. Yep.
And I'll make sure that Legba and Babasera can fly.
Okay, are we done at this whole place now? Leaving?
That would be my vote. We have a lot of sleepers waking up and crowding out. We're going to be more and more lit.
All right.
Okay. I want to do geomancy and just sort of scrub up their bad ley lines.
Okay, yeah, you had mentioned that before. Yeah, and I imagine like you've built the imago out in your head, and it's just been sitting there. It's like, are we done? Cool. Wow.
Yeah, because this is they're going to know. that we are here and messing with their stuff when I do this.
Yep. So yeah, you pull the trigger on that, and basically just rip it out. We're not even like counter geomancing and trying to move other stuff or change. No, it's just like that thing that's gone.
Yeah, I just want to smash that one.
Hell yeah.
I had it in my head as like breaking a cord.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of like reaching out, grabbing it, and snatching it out.
Prime unmaking the ley line itself.
Ooh.
Yeah, actually that's true, because otherwise, yeah, that's what you have to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I dig that. Yeah. Cool.
And we need to leave
now.
now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already in the air while you're casting that spell.
So you give wings to the other two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. So you guys get airborne and kind of draw away. And then did the four of you fly back to Purgatory Bluff?
Shared experiences help build fellowship.
Legba says, I wish to wait here.
Yeah, my concern is like, do we want to try to find somewhere, wait for the mages to show up?
I have things to share of great import.
Can you build us a little fold to hide him?
We'll just circle.
Yeah, you just get high altitude and use telepathy. Yes, so these angelic vultures just circling as you guys, air rushing by your ears, but calmly, easily having a telepathic conversation.
Mm-hmm. Legba says, what is the right way to say this? It has been an interesting night.
Yeah, we were all there.
When I was away, when my attention was drawn, it was drawn at sword point.
Okay.
It is no longer likely the case, but this place corresponded to the archetypical plantation. The plantation. Cultivated, designed, curated. It is, in so many ways, an unsettling construct. This was the dirt-bound representation of their work, their practice, their skillful cultivation of oppression and its many sequelae.
To what point?
What point is there in any skillful craft to learn how to do it better?
Oh, I was thinking that this was a place that was generating something, but you're thinking this was like a testing ground.
Yes. This is where they're testing how to brutalize people. And they have constructed a realm in the Temenos to support it, to reinforce it, to anchor it.
With its own guardians.
Guardian. There might be others. I saw but one. I chose not to understand everything about him that I could. It was a relatively cordial conversation. Once I made it clear that his threats and defensiveness were unwelcome.
I'm struck with the idea that this is way bigger than we think it is.
Yes.
There's at least 4 mages we've seen evidence of involved in this project.
There are almost certainly more than that.
But yeah, But I mean, having directly had magical influence on the project.
I believe
What we know of the Seers means that there are more.
Yes.
Bold of you to assume this is Sears.
The Time Dog told me it was the Sears.
Yeah.
All this
Remember,
fascism and tyranny, and maybe
It could be the
diamond.
Silver Ladder. You're right.
No, come on now. This is Mysterium.
A weird rock falls out of the sky, strikes Petrichor dead.
It occurs to me that we didn't.
That sounds like weather to me. I'm pretty sure I'm protected by the.
It occurs to me that we didn't do much to sanitize our arrival and activities here.
Drugs.
All told, the signature nimbus that you all left behind would have been the arrival of Legba by teleportation, the storm, co-location, the storm itself, the geomancy, and Petrichor's signature nimbus on the people she told to go to sleep, and
The destroy energy.
geomancy. Yeah. Oh, and then Legba attainment use in the house.
Do attainments,
When I put the fire out.
do attainments leave things?
Attainments do leave signature nimbi.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
But we didn't do things like put temporal wards on us or leave no trace or anything like that. But we can hope that the fire will erase any sort of physical
I'm
things that might be able to use.
happy for them to know that someone has been
Yes.
poking and prodding. Also, but talked to one of them. So,
Yes. Yeah.
they
Never
know.
asked that. Yeah, like was it? I was in my full self. I announced my full self.
At this
At
point,
least
my
they
main
knew I was
concern is
there.
finding them.
Mhm. I believe I can find that realm again, and through that realm, we could find the physical person.
We have
But-
one name.
We do. What name?
Tragonder.
He smiles and he says, "I know someone who might want to find information about that name."
Okay.
And then he shares a bit about the sorcerer. He says, he is eager for exchanges that give him knowledge and access. It is the route through which I was able to obtain those rights for jewels, and by which I've gotten bits of useful information about what has been happening in the world.
As well as other context too. But yeah.
Yes, as well as it's expanded my understanding of many things, but of great import is the stuff that I likely would not have obtained otherwise. And
Sure.
if we wanted to somehow get information about this mage through means that we might not be inclined to use and without directly drawing attention to our interest, it would be a good resource.
Sure. I have one question from sort of before we left. Was there any spirit magic on the spirits themselves? Any spells active? I was trying to think of why the bands and banes would be so
Right.
specific.
Yes.
So either he made them or he took some and changed them.
Correct.
So I figured there was probably evidence of.
Yep. I need to double check. Is it shape
Or they.
spirit?
I'm a little unsettled
Shape
by that
spirit.
myself. I mean, the fire spirits burn things up, but the whole notion of these spirits have minds, right? And then got changed.
Shape
Now all
spirit
you have to do it is
for sure. You can tell just the evidence of.
Was there a familiar signature nimbus on those spells?
You didn't have a chance to study.
Fair.
I will go ahead and say, because you have seen it, you would also recognize the familiar spell on them as well. All 4 of them.
Oh,
Wow, cool.
got it.
Also, somewhere in here, a little flute spirit has been yelling and screaming.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Adorable.
I also had that realization.
Oh shit, there's more.
Having a bad time.
I had the realization of, all right, he's still around.
Yeah, that's so good.
Little buddy has really just had a bad time. There was that like 3-year period where I was just like having kids and stuff, and he's like, "This is great.
This is the best thing because you were playing that flute all the time." Yep, this is the best. And then, like after Helena showed up, it was like, well, actually, no, we can't even blame Helena. No, it's just been this more recent couple months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my concerns aren't so much about them knowing that something was done here; it's being able to directly get connections to us.
Yes.
You have a way to solve that.
Yes.
It is very heavy-handed, but it works. You just need to be sure that you're not coming back here and want to investigate further in the future.
Yeah, like it says. We can remove our traces, even from this position. And he turns around, and then, because he just said that, he decides to remove the trace of his signature nimbus.
Yep. Do you do just a big, blatant, large scale, just all this?
Yes.
Okay. Because, and I before Legba does that, I have no problem with you casting it. Just double checking all the other players are like, we're not coming back here because. Okay. Cool.
I feel pretty confident we've learned everything we're going to learn from here.
Yep. So
yeah, confident we learned enough.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Legba.
So if we need to come back, we can just fly again.
Right. No, but when Legba casts this, I'm going to wipe all the signature Nimbus off of everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yes.
And it'll be all of them. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah. As we watch as the fires start to like reach to the top of the plantation, Legba just waves his hand, and just it is cleansed. And just like there's nothing left in terms of signature Nimbus. And then the 4 of you fly on.
Well, Legba says, my body rests in a nearby plantation. I wish to see what it looks like before we return to Purgatory Bluff.
His astral body rests in.
Yeah, but that's what he says. He says, my body rests.
It's like Legba's been dead the whole time.
Hey, that Walking Dead spell has been on ever since Theo casted it.
Wow.
Helena would just like slowly nod. Just, sure.
Sure. Page things.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. But when you hit Gnosis 6, it's just like, that sounds like a mage thing. Sure.
Sure. I guess that's a thing that's happening. Whatever. Cool. That's fine.
Yeah, it's an easy enough flight to make your way down towards the plantation.
Cool.
If you so desire.
So as you're flying over Helena, since you joined us on this endeavor with intent and planning, I know you haven't really been interested in joining forces in the past, but given this recent occurrence and other incidences, maybe it's time to formalize our relationship a little.
It would make things easier going forward if we're going to continue to work together.
Well, I think I speak for all of us when I say the offer is open if you wish to take it. We might be small, but we're not without resources that we can share.
Being able to mentally chat the way you all do would be incredibly useful. So And I'm certainly engaged in this now.
You then get a mental invitation to the group chat.
And I'm just screaming in my head, Ash, say the words! Say the words!
Yeah, that's right.
Like the old ICQ. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, that's right.
This here, I've gotten an invite to Big Booty Bitches of Purgatory Bluff.
Yes.
Were we making that canon? Is that a
No.
No.
That's not the name of the group chat.
It keeps getting changed. Come on.
Yeah.
People keep changing it over and over again. Adding GIFs and emojis in the name.
Oh,
Yep.
no.
So yes, as you all fly down, you feel that tingle of the new telepathy, the new, nearly ever present, presence in your minds. It's like, okay, here's somebody new. Because, you haven't had this since, Rilla left.
Yeah.
Well, Rilla and Gisela. Because, oh my gosh. Oh, man from Mexico.
Salazar,
never reached and never joined the coven, so wasn't part of it. Right. So yeah, there's been a couple spots missing, and at least Helena slots into another. Abigail never joined, so this is right. The coven growing again, because it's nice to have the mystery cult, but another mage joining in this group call, it's a different thing. Other than just going to where your astral self is and looking at that plantation, is there anything you're planning to do there?
No, nothing specific, because I don't want to delay what else is going to happen in the session. But Legba's interest primarily was he chose to go there. Therefore, it behooves him to at least take a look at where he will likely be going next. He chose to visit this. So
right. Okay, cool. I like that.
And it can be, interesting foreshadowing as well. But he's like, I chose to visit this place. Let's see what this is before we depart.
Cool. Otherwise, you guys kind of do a quick flyby over there as officially the sun is coming up. And do we do a little co-location back to Purgatory Bluff?
If people want to, they'd be happy for that. But he wasn't going to insist that, because that would be he would consider that ungrateful, considering that Petrichor has already blessed everyone with wings. So if we want to fly back, he's okay with that, but he could do it instantaneously. So it's entirely what
shared experiences build fellowship.
Yes, indeed.
It's a chance to see the world the way Petrichor does.
That's true. That's a good point.
Petrichor's like, no, this is the easy one. You got to ride the storm to see it the way I see it.
Yeah, if you want to.
That's a good point.
Let me check the GPS. Where's the maelstrom?
Damn, Asia again.
Yep.
It's monsoon season.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys fly. It is a couple more hours. It is well past dawn when you guys return to Purgatory Bluff. So you guys,
we're going back west.
Mm-hmm. And you cannot outpace the sun, right? And it was 3 a.m. when you left. So because y'all didn't start your ritual summoning until midnight. 1.
Okay. All right.
Yep. And so you guys fly in. Sun is coming up, and you guys are doing the right, sleepers. And kind of land a little bit farther off so you can walk into town. Or actually, I guess you probably don't even need to do that. Just kind of fly low, stick to the hills, and land behind the mill. And you make your ways back into town. There, everything seems quiet and normal compared to the wild past, 7 hours you guys have spent, and now it's like, oh yes, and sun is coming up and people are starting stuff, and to call it out when Theo gets there, like you've got some of the farm hands.
When we landed, Theo, does anyone want a cleaning? Get the smell of smoke and stuff off you.
Zip, zip.
Making the offer.
Right.
I will wash them by hand. Thank you.
Okay.
I like that. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, definitely got smoke smell.
Yeah.
So many
Catherine
things smell like smoke,
to
though.
Yeah,
raise an
that's true.
eyebrow when Theo comes home smelling like smoke and soot.
Yep.
I
Yep.
sat in the fire. It was
Yep.
fine.
Yeah, Theo, you arrive, wings are gone, double check. Yep. Stand to your full upright height,
Yeah,
you
shed
shed Babasera, yeah.
Mhm.
And Catherine is out there with some of the hands, Valosia, doing chores, starting, dawn. We're starting work. Some of the farmers are out there. Helena, that you have a couple hours before you have to teach excitable, annoying children. I think Legba and Cloak and Isabel have probably the easiest time of it, because you guys have
Dude, straight up goes straight to her office and like the jail and everything. Boots
the
up
hat
on the
down.
table, pull the
Yeah.
hat down.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
Wait for Jules to bring me lunch.
Yeah.
Yep. Actually, speaking of, Jules does arrive and sets a rock down on your table.
Yes.
It's like, okay, it's done. I hear everything. This was a terrible
Yes.
decision. Yeah. Oh, don't do that. I hear it twice. I can shoves it in his armpit. I can hear everything. That's not helping. I hear everything it hears.
Do we know about this?
Yes. We don't
sort
know.
of. You knew that a rite was being done.
Mm-hmm.
He was sleeping with a bloody
You're done
rock.
sleeping with the bloody rock. So
Yeah.
Right.
This is when Legbo went and got that right,
Right.
because there's stuff happening in DC, and he was like, "How are we going to get information on that?
Right.
Don't want to leave us like a long-term scry up." And
that's
Yeah,
nice,
because
sweetie.
a long-term scry is going to get spotted in Congress. I promise you that.
Exactly. It's like, that's not a
Hang
good
on,
idea.
that's not one of ours.
Yeah, that's right.
So, what was he talking about?
He has a rock, and he can psychically hear everything that is said near it.
All
And then we
right.
can
So
transport it.
you didn't have to. Okay. You could have just came here and told me and not showed him the rock. I would have believed you. You wouldn't have to
Look.
hear it twice, right?
Well, yeah, but hang on.
I'm
Wait.
always saying I shouldn't have to tell you things twice.
Right, but this is the best thing, and he sets it down and he walks away.
So he fully leaves and goes to walk back through town. She sits there and whispers the most salacious, horny shit in his ear the entire walk.
Yeah. Well, and he's gone about 5 minutes and comes back, and his cheeks are just red, and he realizes, and he picks up the rock and he puts it in his
Does the
pocket.
rock
He's like,
work?
just fine. Thank you. We'll discuss all of that tonight. But I can't talk back, which makes this really awkward. So I'm gonna put this in the gun safe. and then camera zoom out. Jules goes to put that in the gun safe, and then goes to Legba about, hey, how do we get this into Congress?
And he says, "You've done it."
Yep.
Great Scott.
Yeah.
He grabs him by the shoulders. He says, "Wonderful.
It is.
I think
It
you
might
deserve
drive
the
me mad. So
well, I can help with that.
Jules pauses and goes, actually, yeah, no, that's fair. No, I just need.
I love how I could help with that, but it's not defined if it's up or down.
Right.
That's right.
But he's.
You want to go mad? Let's go mad.
Like he's like, actually, and like he's thinking about it, he's like, could you block the connection, suppress it?
Yes, I could allow
Because-
you to do so.
Oh, you'll have to explain that one to me. And so the two of you kind of sit and chat. Meta-wise, it's easy for you to block the connection and suppress it. You and I will have to talk about how
Yes.
he would do it, because I'm kind of
Mhm.
curious. I can think of a couple things. We'll figure out what
Yeah.
Legba wants to go with.
I have some interesting things that I think you might find fun, and it would require a scene with Jules to explore, because you probably would not want to just have it declared fiat.
Right.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. It'd be fun.
But yeah, so it's like, okay, we have this thing. Currently, I hear everything all the time, and this is terrible because I'm hearing myself in my own head, and I hate the sound of my own voice.
Legba says, there are many ways that we can bring it to where it needs to be. The quicker we do it, the more direct. Honestly, the higher the likelihood that it might get spotted. We need to have it embedded somewhere.
Right.
So that its effect is not inhibited, but people do not notice us when we place it there.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I would not want the right to have been a waste, because I mean it was fun, but it was also weird, and yeah. So, but hey, we did it. Thank you for the book. I have a couple other rights that I want to read over. And I need to go make lunch.
Yes. Let's return to
Hey,
this.
you're gonna go make some lunch, all right?
Mhm.
Yeah, Helena returns to school. Yeah, I guess, yeah. What is Legba, what is Cloak doing this afternoon?
Let's see. He's going to wash his clothes carefully. He's going to go back to visit with Les Enfants and go back to talk to Jeremiah.
Yeah, Jeremiah's looking good. He had a good night's sleep. He, is woken up to be carried back down. He's got now a set of crutches that were skillfully carved to fit him. Right, we're not talking about adjustable crutches or anything like that,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So he's got that, but and so when you come to see him out in the farms, he is up and like standing and conversing and talking with people, and he is, I wouldn't say he is having a good time, but compared to what you have seen, this is one of the best days he's ever had, right?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You good, Craig?
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so he's up, he's moving, especially since past week or so he's been bedridden, so now he's up and stuff like that. So yeah, much better position than he's been in a few days.
That's great. Wonderful. So he goes up to him and he says, he looks out as they're, where are they? Are they inside? Or are they outside?
Yeah, they're inside. Yep. Because a lot of the rescued folks are still kind of in hiding at this point,
Cool.
right?
Great. Perfect. He says, I'd like to ask you a personal question.
Anything.
What do you hear when you go to sleep?
Whatever my dream is of.
Is it ever the same?
Like repeated dreams?
Yes.
Some nightmares?
Have they always happened?
kind of makes a face and thinks about it. And you definitely have a moment where you like, yeah, he doesn't think about his dreams. He hasn't had a chance to, right? And he's like, I mean, I've had some nightmares. You know, most of my nightmares are bad memories. So reliving terrible days. I actually had some really, really strong ones last night.
Reliving regrets.
Yeah. Some of my worst ones.
I know a lot about regrets.
Yeah. Liaison Fawn mentioned that there's a lot of history that you all have been through.
Yes. But in no way. And then he pauses and he says something. He chooses to articulate himself differently. He says, all suffering is suffering. None is worse. None is more deserving of understanding.
He nods. He's like, no, I agree. The first wounds that a child bears, while we think of them as nothing, it's still the worst pain that they have ever suffered.
Yes. And regrets are the same way, regardless of the context. Do you understand this?
I do.
He takes a deep breath and he says, I will share something with you. I've done many things that are regrettable.
Quick pause. Are you here as Legba or Cloak?
Cloak.
Okay.
He says, I've done many things that are regrettable. And I was not able to move on from those regrets until I understood that the most important... He says, I was not able to accommodate those regrets until I understood that regrets and mistakes never prevent you from deserving understanding, forgiveness, or redemption. There is a part of yourself that you harm each day, and you believe that it doesn't deserve to be heard because you don't want to suffer anymore, because you don't want to acknowledge that the thing that you did or you wanted to do made sense for the circumstances. I don't presume to know your feelings, but I do presume that you're a man who's been through many experiences that have shaped him, that have left scars, some that can be seen, many that can't. The only way that a scar becomes a memory of triumph is when you realize that your story is ultimately written by what you do after you go through the suffering, not by the suffering itself. I wish for you in this place to understand why we call ourselves les enfants de Champs-Élysées. We break the chains that shackle us to past notions of ourselves. It is less about the physical chains that held us in bondage and more about the chains that we carry around that prevent us from seeking true liberation.
He nods and gives you this big smile that doesn't touch his eyes and says, "Oh, it's okay. Like I'm free of the suffering. I don't have any regrets that I'm concerned about. Like this is paradise. This is I'm safe here. I'm comfortable. No, I'm good. I'm great. I'm terrific.
Okay. He places a hand on his shoulder and he says, I'm glad. And if someday you are less terrific than today, that is also okay.
You definitely get the like absolute. He is not going to complain at all. He's not going to have anything because it would be ungrateful, right? He's been given all this stuff, so now to complain about stuff, yeah. You and like that's going to be one of those things that you talk to Liaison Fawn after, like he's going to need some. He's going to need some help.
Yeah.
he
needs to go to mines.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, no, I'm fine. It's like, dude, I have seen the inside of your soul. You are not okay.
You're not fine.
But he's definitely, he's putting on the brave face. You know, it's like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm great. Look, I got crutches now. Like I'm up and moving. I've got food.
Cool.
You know, you can tell he is hurting. There is probably a bit of a mirror to Jean-Paul, right?
Yeah.
Right. There's that. Oh yeah, no, this is good. I did things for the right reason, so I have no regrets for this.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's there. You're like, okay, yeah, I see where you're at. We'll come back around to this.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, and imagine like after that, you know, you back it up and like turn things a little bit more domestic, so to speak. Like, okay, let's get some food going.
Yeah.
And speaking of domestic, we jump over to Theodosia, where Catherine is not quite giving you the cold shoulder, but she definitely woke up alone. And you warned her. You said you were going to be gone for a bit, but definitely wasn't a all night into the morning kind of thing. So yeah, you are allowed to kiss her cheek scenario, right?
I accept it as the privilege that it is.
Yeah.
And I know that it's difficult.
Mm.
So I acknowledge that I am difficult.
Yep.
If she has any questions, I will answer.
It is probably like you have cool conversations, not completely cold. She's not mad, she's disappointed, right? But it's around like when y'all are like heat of the day, let's get under some shade, kind of stuff, and sit and relax a little bit. And she finally asks, was last night important? Or actually, better way to say it, did you do something important last night?
Yes.
Okay. Like reaches over, gives your hand a squeeze, lets it go. It's like, okay. Valosia is not blind to this, and is in that like, I don't like when mom are fighting. Excuse me, no, it was we had the term mom, and we had another, what was the Romani term?
Oh yeah.
Can I find it? I can't find it. But that's fine.
Romney.
Yes, that's right. Because I remember it being similar to Romani, but not. Yeah. I hate it when the two of you are fighting. But
responded to it so you can find it.
Thank you.
Nice, thank you. But she, is happily telling you about that she was invited to they have a dance. Would they have had dances? I think we're a little too early for the organized dances that
Really?
churches
A barn
did.
party.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Cultures have organized dances for, I mean.
Well, I am thinking specifically of some of the church dances that would have been done.
Well.
Actually, I think
they could have had a community dance, like
right.
Let me just also say this is a predominantly Spanish-speaking community.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some dancing.
Oh yeah,
Asians,
dancing as a thing,
Asians,
absolutely. Too. But I am thinking of, and it may have actually been around this period because I can't remember when they started being done. But they're done a lot on the East Coast as ways to get men into church.
I see. Okay,
right.
Gotcha.
So I was like, well, that'd been, but regardless, yeah, Velosia is telling you about, one of the boys who I am sure you have a Rolodex of every boy around the appropriate ages, like I think that one was okay. Inviting to a dance, and looking forward to it, or some festival, or heck, maybe even a Saints Day. Yeah. But basically more or less the next celebration. Oh yeah, can we dance? And so she's kind of filling the air and talking about stuff, which also kind of helps get Catherine out of not necessarily a sulk maybe. And Catherine, I think, brings up yeah, we should talk to Miss Anderson. She knows clothing, so maybe we can do a new dress, and that gets at least Velosia and Catherine, I'm assuming Theo, talking about like what to do with it and stuff like that, because I don't know how much Theo was into textiles and clothing before, but now she runs a mill for it. She's got to have opinions, right? So yeah, something along those lines.
And she'd always made her own clothes and things like that. Just it wouldn't necessarily be fancy stuff, but yeah.
Right, and that's my question is like, how much especially now that you run a mill and you're you gotta be not necessarily super fashion conscious, but you can't be making the same thing over and over and over. At least for here in Purgatory Bluff.
And she's also Romani, so she's colorful. Patterns.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, which, yeah, I guess that's true. It's like, hey, there's a mill. We're making clothes. And like, a bunch of folks come out and they're like, yay, staid, calm, simple.
Yeah, that's right.
Nope.
Nope. There won't be any straight blue skirts coming out of Theo's mill.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, Helena, you just attacked what you suspect is some kind of seer operation, and then go to teaching school with some students. And I know you have a rambunctious dog that's making this difficult for you. But yeah, just like how does Helena recover? Like, you've been up and about for 7 hours, and now you have to handle a bunch of students.
I feel like she's very good at that, at slipping out of her warrior persona and back into her day-to-day life. She only has like the 1 dot of life magic, but she's basically doing whatever she can with that to just kind of refresh herself physically, in addition to like just cleaning up. She is keeping the sword because it's here for a week.
Sure.
So she's gonna probably wrap it up and stick it under the mattress.
I love that. Yeah, very, very much the same way a lot of these other families, we're not using the gun right now, so we'll just wrap it up and tuck it somewhere kind of safe. It's like, no, I wrap up my glowing golden sword, tuck it under the mattress. Yeah, like that. And also, can I just say, I love the idea of a Gnosis 6 mage with 5 dots of prime teaching children.
Oh yeah.
Right? The disparity of what I know and the things I understand and what I am trying to explain to you, little shit, is just this great gulf. But no, I did that. Actually, prime and forces. I know how the universe works. Just listen to me. I like that. But of course,
But
school
what if
only
something you
lasts a
don't
couple
know?
hours.
What if you don't know? Look, I'm 6, okay? I've had a lot of life experience, all right? You need to listen to me, okay? I know what's going on, all right?
I love that.
Okay, that's
cool.
fine, but my daddy said.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's fine. I have a coven mate who will visit your daddy in his dreams, and we will fix this. Okay, good stuff. All right, yeah. So yeah, we had that was our idyllic Sunday, by the way. That started Sunday night
Same day. Yep.
through into
That was our day off.
Yep. Into Monday morning, and we're back to it. And it's just like, yep, being mages. I like that. Cool. I will chat with y'all a little bit, but we will probably have maybe a month or two time skip. And so next
Downtime.
week, yeah, we'll have some downtime. We'll get some little spot scenes, like we're gonna have Legbit chatting with Jules about his plan to enable him to shield himself from the whispers and shouting and screaming that is happening in Congress, or right, as well as potential research into stuff. One little thing that I will mention here, and then we'll probably discuss a little bit, off screen, is the mention of the Liberators with a capital L. Which is something we hadn't brought up. I'm sure it would come
He's going to
up again.
share the entirety of the conversation, right? There wasn't time, but he's going to be like, let's walk through it. I want your eyes and ears on this. What do you take from this?
Yeah, because that was definitely spoken at the time in English, but you could hear the capital L, right? There is some group, not necessarily like some abolitionist movement, but but something a step above that. So cool. Thank y'all for joining us as we are starting to yawn and dogs need to go out and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to wrap it up here. Much as I'd love to keep just playing forever. If you want to support us monetarily, that's www.staylucky.club. Come join us on Patreon. If you want to chat with us, we'd love to have you. That's www.yeetinto.space, where, for believe it or not, we are actually discussing in the Rookery chat yeeting vampires into space. We've come full circle. And
how long it would take to reach the escape velocity of the Milky Way
escape
galaxy?
velocity, what happens next? Oh yeah, it's good stuff. I was like, man, I love that this still comes up. It's like, hey, we got to talk about this. Okay, we'll do it again. Come by, hang out, chat with us. We are a welcoming community. We'd love to have you. If you want to lurk and chill, totally cool. If you want to come ask us weird, wacky questions about our past episodes, or our opinion on stuff, or hey, how does this rule work? I will tell you, if it was in the first 50 episodes of the Rookery, we probably did it wrong. But it's okay, we got better sometimes. And then we have like the panic attack of Into the West episode like 2, where it was like, did we do incognito presence wrong all of the Rookery? No, we didn't. We just had a hiccup. Come by and we'd love to see you. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Adios.